Sometimes you have a lot of distractions at home. You can't focus. You need your space. And space is important. Like, we need time. We need energy. But we also need our space. The space is important, like a place where you can be creative, where you're not going to have people, opening your door, walking in your room or your office and bothering you when you need to focus. When you're trying to focus on this project and you're like, okay, I'm working on this, so please give me my space. So what you're saying is that you need time to work on your project, or to do this work, to brainstorm, to expand on ideas. But sometimes we could have pets, we could have family members, we could have friends and other people that just don't want to give us our space. And it could get really frustrating, because if you're in a position where you don't really have somewhere to go to work on these projects that have deadlines, that it's like you want to focus and you really want to do this, but then you could be working on a table and your cat could be jumping all over and jumping on your computer and jumping on your notebook, and you could have a dog that wants to go outside and every second of the day, and they need your attention. Or you could have your parents need something, they need you to go run some errands, or somebody else needs you to do this and that. Like, people are always reaching out to you because you put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that position of being that person that everybody reaches out to when they need something. Like, I need a ride. Oh, like, you could do it. I need you to go to the store. I need you to go pick up something. I need you to pick up this medication. I need you to go buy some groceries. Like, where it's constant and it's daily, where you're always in a position of doing these things for everyone, which is nice, and you want to help them out. But if it's every single day and you start to feel frustrated because you want to do other things that you need to complete, something that you want to start, then it comes down to the circle that you're in. Because there's a circle, and it's like, these are people that are in your circle, and do they respect what you want to do? Do they respect your dream, or do they respect the work that you need to do, or that you have deadlines? I mean, do they really want to give you that space, or do they understand? Because you have to ask yourself questions like, what is holding me back? Is it me, or is it other people? Am I making excuses? Am I overthinking? Do I lack confidence? Do I have fears? Do I fear change? Like, what is it that is holding me back? Because sometimes you just find yourself in a position where you just attract people that need your attention. It could be even strangers. Like, you could be out walking your dog and you just want some peace. You just want your space to enjoy the moment of, like, okay, I just want to go out here and just relax. And then people are just crossing your path, like, constantly, and people want to talk to you, and yeah, like, you want to be friendly and nice and everything, but it comes to a point that sometimes you need your space. So then maybe you want to go on a beach and go with your dog, because you just want to be with your dog and yourself, and you just want to enjoy hearing the waves, seeing the waves, just that peace. Like, you don't want to, like, cross paths where you haven't have conversations with every single person, and you just sometimes need that moment to kind of unwind, to rejuvenate, to self-reflect. And it all comes down to space. It's very important to have your space, whether it's an office, whether it's like you're in your car alone and you can listen to the music you want to listen to, you could think what you want to think, you don't have to have certain conversations, you don't have to always be driving someone, that you could have time to just have some time for yourself. Like, whether you go to the movies and you just want to watch a movie by yourself, so you could watch a movie that you want to watch and not what everyone else wants to watch. And there comes a time where you could have that time to do the things that you want for yourself, which would be self-care. If you want to go hiking, then you go hiking. If you want It's like you choose to do what you want to do at certain times. It's just that when people don't respect or value what you want, like you're telling them, I need some time. I don't always want to be in stores. I don't want to always be picking up things. I don't always want to be driving around. And it's like you're always that person that is designated to do these things. And yeah, you help out and maybe they value you, but to the point where it becomes bothersome, because then that's all you're doing for them daily. And then you just don't have that space and that time, and you don't have the focus on the things that you need to do. And then you want a job so you could do the things that you want to do, so then you could get paid to do it. Like it's your daily job. Like, this is my job. If I'm a writer, then I want to write and I can make a living doing that. And then I could do the things I want to do on the side, like my real dream. And then it doesn't happen, because then you're applying for all these positions and you're going up against so many people and they're not choosing you. You might get interviews, you might have some opportunities, but then it doesn't amount to anything. And then they might just say oh, you look like this is like your dream and you want to do this, and it doesn't look like maybe you wouldn't want to do this job because this job probably wouldn't be fulfilling for you. So they're kind of thinking for you. So they're kind of assuming that this is what you want and maybe this is not going to be a good fit. So then they're making that decision for you when you can do a good job with this job. But when you do have a job where you're working remote and you need that time to focus and to get work done, because you need to concentrate. And sometimes you're already dealing with say writer's block or other things that are holding you back from doing what you need to do. Maybe you're trying to be perfectionist. Maybe you don't want to write something that is not so good, because you're setting these high standards for yourself that you're not getting the work done. It's not about not getting the work done, that you can't even return back to a moment in the past when you were able to do it so freely. You're able to just sit down and not talk about it with other people, not be online, not tell everybody what your dream is or what you want, or you're a writer. But you're able to sit down and carve out little short films, feature films. You're able to write and get it done and be happy to do it. And a dream is about enjoying it, loving it. It's not about I have to do all this and that and complaining about it. I do all this and I didn't get it. Look at all the things I did for this dream and it's not happening and I don't know what else to do. What do I do? I'm getting desperate. I knew one person that says, I'm getting so desperate, I need to start sleeping with producers and directors because I really, there's nothing else and I can't do it. So then they were selling out their morals. Because they wanted this so bad, but it's not wanting this dream because it's something deeper, that they need this dream. They need it for their identity. They need it to survive because they want it so bad inside for the wrong reasons, because they need the attention. They need people to say oh, you are valuable, you are talented, or you're amazing. And they need that. And they feel that they got this dream. They can say, oh, I'm a public figure. I'm someone. And look at me. I told you I could prove you wrong. Look, I could do it. So there's deeper things that are going on inside people when they want something and when they're complaining about it. Because why would somebody complain about their dream? Why would they whine about it when they're not even doing everything they can to get it? They're not doing enough to achieve it. They think it's easy. They're complaining about how hard it is, but then they're not even dedicating their time. They're not even devoted to the dream. That they're saying oh, there's all this competition. Look at them, look at all these people, how they look, and I don't know if I can measure up to them. That's what they're thinking. Do I measure up to all these people? Why are they focused on the other people? It could be thousands of people. Yeah, if thousands of people want to do this, they're up for this role, or thousands of people are writing scripts and they all need their story to be great so they could be this awesome person and this brilliant writer and everybody could praise them. So there are things that go much deeper than just wanting something. But then when you have this fulfillment that you know that this is meant for me because you had this calling a long time ago and you're good at it. You're good and you have proven yourself, and that you had, made money already writing, and you have done things where people recognize your skills, your talents. Then all you need is focus. You need to focus. You need to discipline yourself. For me, like I was struggling to write, to do screenwriting at the level I was doing it before. Like where I know that I had these stories and I need to write them. It's not about, I don't even value like my ideas to the point where like, if your ideas are not, if they don't become something, then what's the reason of talking about your ideas? Like, oh, I have an idea for a story. I have an idea like, oh, this is gonna be a great idea. Like, who cares about ideas? If they don't become a story, then they're nothing though. Like you could have 100 ideas, but if you're not writing a story based on that idea and completing something, then what's the purpose of telling everybody that you have this idea? Like, look at my idea, and it would just make a perfect film or a perfect TV show and all that. Like, people want to tell people sometimes because they want other people to do the work for them. They don't want to do the work. I know one person that reached out to me saying, well, I want you to write this. I'll give you a couple of things. And they didn't really want to give you the information to write this story. They said, I have a couple of things, but I work during the day and all that, and I can't really help and all that. Get away from those people. Don't be doing other people's work so they could go take credit for the project, and that you're the one that's writing it and carving it out and you have things to do. It's easy to come up with your own ideas and to focus on it and say, okay, I need to get this done. So it was 2020, during when the pandemic started, that, I always keep track of my steps, with Fitbit. And I was like kind of sporadic with my steps. Like, okay, I'll get 10,000 a day or something for like 6 weeks, and then it would end, like my streaks would end. And then I wasn't charging my watch, or I couldn't find my charger, and then I would go like a week without even having any steps because I wasn't even tracking it, because I didn't find the charger and it wasn't important to me. So I committed myself, like it was on August 8th, 2020, to get more steps. Like, committed myself, I'm gonna set these streaks, set these goals, and I'm gonna go after these milestones. I'm gonna do it. And I started achieving things like with the steps. Like I went after 100,000 steps, and then I got it. Like, it was like early November of 2020, and then I was in this competition and I won it. So like back-to-back days on the weekend, I got over 90,000 steps and 105,000 steps. So I was doing that, and then I was going after other goals, and then I started getting like 20,000 a day for like 3 months, and then I got like 30,000 a day for a couple months. So I was like challenging myself to go get it, but then I was out there too long, like getting all these steps and all that. But then what was the purpose of it? It was to discipline myself, to show that I could do this. But not even for physical, for mental. It's mental. It's like building habit, because once you do it and you shock your body and say, okay, I want to go after this, then I want to achieve this, and I'm going to be proud of what I'm doing. Then I'm going to set these milestones, and then I'm going to reach them. And then that, okay, it's part of my daily life that I go after these steps, and now I want 10,000 a day. So then you can reduce it, where maybe you're going after 40,000 a day, 50,000, 60,000, and you're just getting all these steps and, like challenging yourself. Then you could scale back and say, okay, now it's part of my day that I get 10,000 at least. And you don't have to worry about like your other competition. Like, say if you have friends on Fitbit that they track the top 10, and then maybe you're always placing second, you had some first place finishes a lot, but then you're just mainly second place. But then you get to the point, like, what's the purpose of it? Like why do we need to go brag about how many steps? Because we maybe want people to see like that we did a good job, and they're gonna say like, wow, like I'm impressed by like your effort and that you're doing this, and like, wow. But then we don't need that. If we're out there chasing validation for like, okay, look at like how much you could bench press, or look how fast you could run, or look at the times you get and all that. Like what's the meaning of like telling everyone and needing that validation when you know that you already did a good job. So that's why it comes down to like building a habit. Like, so if you do something for like 30 days, then you're building a habit. You wake up every morning and say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be committed. I'm not going to like, so no matter if you're sick, no matter if you're tired, no matter what you have going on, that you're out there getting these steps. So you're out there getting these steps, and then you challenge yourself, and then you may not have enough time to get it, and then you get it, and then you're happy because like, damn, like I had to reach deep down inside and get this because I was behind, and then you started to walk faster, or you ran, or like you got what you needed, and you achieved this goal, and you almost missed it, and you just keep doing these things, and then what happens is that when you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, then it becomes a habit, a good habit, and that now it's a part of your day. But then you could kind of reduce, the activity and transfer that energy and to discipline yourself and to commit yourself on, if you're a writer, on your writing. So if you could do it with something else that wasn't even like your passion or your dream, and you could do it and you could stick with it for like for me right now, having 10,000 steps per day for almost like 600 days straight, like consecutive, without missing it, even when I had to go on trips and everything, and still go out there and get it, like that you achieve it. And one time I maybe almost missed it, but then I got it coming back because the drive was long, and I had to like pace myself throughout the drive, like at the rest stops and all that, to get to 10,000 steps. So what you do is like you say, okay, I'm going to commit myself to my writing, and I'm going to write X amount of words per day or pages, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to read scripts. I'm going to do the work every day. I'm going to spend 4 hours a day writing. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day, 5 hours a day. How many hours you want to spend per day, and make it a habit to do it every day if you can. And don't make excuses. Don't think that your work is bad when you're writing. Don't be judging yourself and being critical of yourself. Just write it. It might sound cheesy, and then later on when you look at it, it might be something that you're like, wow, like I'm impressed with my work. Like, stop judging yourself when you're writing. Have the space like we discussed when we started this video. Find a space, a creative space, whether it's office, wherever it may be, and be prepared, like to have like your chargers, like have however you're gonna write, like wherever you're gonna write on a notepad, or you're gonna write on your computer, you're gonna write on your iPad, you're gonna have like a wireless keyboard, however you want to write, or you want to capture ideas like through voice memo. You want to record yourself, you want to have a lavalier mic and just record your thoughts, or you want to film yourself talking about like the story. However you want to do it, like customize it for yourself. But it comes down to space, because if people don't respect what you want to do and they don't give you your space, go find your space. Go find your creative space. If you can't do it at home because now you got your pets or you got people, like just people are blocking you, go somewhere else. Just leave and go somewhere else. Like, don't continue to put yourself in an environment that is blocking you, that is a distraction. You can have distractions, but don't put yourself where you get frustrated, you get angry because now you're like, nobody's supporting me because they're getting in my way and they keep bothering me and they keep needing these things, and then I can't get work done, and I really want to do this, and this is like my dream. Take yourself out of that environment and go somewhere where you could actually sit down, you could spread out all your work and start focusing on completing something to work at it. Because sometimes people are not going to understand what it feels like to be a writer if they're not a writer and it's not their dream. And they might ask you, I don't see the purpose on why you want this. Why do you still want this? So because they don't want it, they don't have the talent or the skill, they don't have the passion for it. So of course they're going to judge you for why you want something and why you continue to want it and why you haven't achieved it when they don't want it. They might not see why you might go out and work out to set these goals and everything. They don't even see and understand why you're doing it. Even if you say that I'm doing it for reasons, for discipline, to be consistent and to be committed, and they might still not see it and they don't understand it. So it's not up to us to make them understand. Either they understand or they don't understand. So don't spend too much time trying to get people to support your dream, to force them to understand like why you want to do it. Like, and they might think like, oh, we're different people because like you want to change the world and do all these things, and like we're so different, like meaning that they don't want it and they don't care because they're focused on themselves. They want what they want that will make them happy. But then you could create these stories or do these things because you want to do something that you're pouring your heart into it. Like you have stories to tell, the stories come to you, you have situations and things happen for a reason because you're meant to tell these stories, and you don't have to tell them as is, and you don't have to show everything. Some things could just be assumed. You don't have to like say in Marley and Me, like when Jennifer Aniston was giving birth to the kids, they didn't go show them in the labor delivery. They didn't show him at the hospital. They didn't show like him driving her to the hospital. It's not even part of the story. It's just the fact that they had a kid. Like she's pregnant, and like she did pregnancy tests. She's pregnant, and next thing you know, the kid is like 2 years old. You don't have to show everything if it's not part of the story. So if the story is about the dog, so then yeah, you're going to show how the dog's a nuisance and all that, but then how it's really special and it's part of the family. And that we don't want to change who the dog is because the dog is unique. Even though that it gets into trouble and does all these things, like we don't want to take away those traits because that's who the dog is. That's who Marley is. That the dog is special for that reason. So it's just like we want to change people and wish they were somebody else. Like why do you talk to people? Why are you so nice to everyone? Why do you do these things? Because sometimes people want to change you because they see that you do these things because they can't do it. Like they can't have conversations with people, that they can't even think about what to talk about, and they're not as social as you. So then they want to judge you for talking to people, for being nice, or you get yourself into situations because you share too much. But then the thing is that they're not willing to share. They're not willing to be vulnerable. They're not willing to build trust with other people, so other people will share with you because if you share something. But it's not about sharing something personal, that you feel comfortable with who you are, with your identity as a human being, that you're willing to talk to people and to make them feel comfortable, and maybe they'll share something that maybe they didn't share with anyone else. It's something that's private and that it can make them happy to talk about it, or it could help them. And it's like that's what stories are about, that you could create these stories, be creative, and you don't have to write stories as is, like with how it happened in your life. You could just use your life as inspiration, but then you understand how these characters kind of maneuver around in the story, because then you have your experiences and you kind of know how they react. It's all about how they react. It's an action reaction. Like this happens, that happens, this happens. This wouldn't have happened if that didn't happen. So it's kind of like, if this didn't happen, then you wouldn't have an inciting incident, then there would be no story. But he wouldn't have quit the job if this didn't happen, or he wouldn't have done this if this didn't happen, or if this loan didn't happen, like he didn't get the loan, and then he has to, like, he's desperate to get something for a reason, maybe to save somebody, then he's going to do things. So it's like all about, like, something had to happen. But then you can have like the rule of threes, like something happened, they reacted. It's almost like beginning, middle, end. So sometimes the scenes are structured in that way, but beginning, middle, and end. But you don't have to start at the beginning where the setup, building to that conflict. You could just have the conflict and structure that conflict as a setup of the conflict to the middle, to the end, and then exit that scene. And the scene could be a few minutes, or sometimes it could be longer, but maybe there's 52 scenes in your movie. So it's almost like putting the pieces together to tell this story. How can I tell this story creatively? It doesn't always have to be a narrative. It could go back. You could start at the end, and then you get people to think, like, what happened? Like, why did this happen? This horrible thing, or this, like, what happened? And then you could go back to 5 months or a year or a couple years, and then you could go back and forth and go back to the past. And is this how you tell the story? Some people could just tell the story narrative from beginning, middle, end, or you could just go in and out, like of the life of like, this is how I'm going to tell. Like, how do you want to tell the story, and how do you want to be creative, and what technique are you going to use? But do yourself a favor and have a creative space. Like, where are you going to work to dedicate your time to your dream, to your job, so you don't get frustrated and feel like you want to blame everyone. Like, nobody gives me space, and I'm like going to miss these deadlines, or I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to get work done, or I can't focus, I'm struggling, I'm in a bad mood. Like make sure that you eat right, you take your vitamins, you drink water, you drink fluids, and take care of yourself, so then you're not feeling so down. And do some things for yourself, like self-care, hiking or walking, or whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. Go have a drink somewhere, go somewhere new, go to a museum, whatever you want to do. Sometimes you need an outlet away from the work, or from all the pressure and all the stress. Like, you need an outlet, because you're a human being and you need some time to kind of to think about life, or just to enjoy the moment. So it's so much, like, space is so much, because people say, like, I don't have the time, but some people don't have the space. Some people don't have the energy. Some people don't have time, space, or energy. Some people don't give effort, and they want it to come so easily. Then they start faking it, because they want to fake it, because they're like, okay, now I'm getting this validation of what the dream is like, because now everyone's praising me and everybody's like giving me all these compliments, and now I'm thanking everybody for noticing how great I am, and I'm a public figure, and that I'm so famous, and now these articles are all written about me. But then there are articles that are all pumped up like steroids, where they all read the same. I would never want that. I would never want people to write about something and make me into someone that I'm not. Until I achieve something and my work speaks for itself, I'd rather them write about my work and not about me. Maybe at one time, maybe I would have liked it if a story was about me, because I wrote this script and I was in a magazine for screenwriting or something like that. But then it comes down to what you could create. Allow your work to speak for itself, and you work hard to do something great, to tell a great story, a cautionary tale, to help people, to inspire people, to show people that you could dream, or this is what this person goes through to live their dream, and there's all the steps, and this is all the hardships they had. But then they never said nothing to nobody, and they were so humble. Like, however you want to tell the story, then do that, and do a good job at it, because it's your dream. Do a good job, show that you love it, and I promise you that you'll be fulfilled, because you will realize that you could do great work when you focus, and that you give it time, and you do the steps, and that you really show that you love this. Like, you sit down, you have everything spread out. You have your books, your notebooks, your pens, whatever you need to be creative. That you have everything spread out, and you're showing, like, I want to do this. This is who I am. I'm a human being, but then this is who I am as a creative artist, as a professional. I'm a professional, but I also, this is what I want, and I have the skill, and I know I can do it, and I'm going to commit myself to do it. I'm going to discipline myself to do it, and I don't have to always be doing it. I don't have to always be thinking of new ideas. You can just focus on that one. Say, I want to finish this script, and I'm going to leave these ideas to the side, because if you're always thinking of ideas and you can't shut your brain down, focus on that one project. If you have a task at your job and you have to focus on it, if you're jumping all over the place trying to do everything, and you need to press your boss, co-workers, and you want to do all this stuff, and you don't even get your job done, then how is it going to turn out? Like, focus on the task in hand. I want to write this script. I want to tell this story. And these are the things that are going to get in the way. This is an antagonist. This is a protagonist. This is a friend that he has, but his friend's jealous. Or this is the ex-wife that is doesn't believe in him, and is always putting him down, and still always shaming him, and maybe deep down inside, maybe she wants him to achieve something, but then he hasn't proven himself because of all the things that he allowed. He wasn't strong enough to stand up for his life and to say that I could do this and I need to do it and I control this journey. I control my own luck and I can make it happen and I'm going to do it. Because if you start blaming everyone for why you didn't achieve it and I could have accomplished my dream, but it was these people or it was this or is that, then you're just making excuses because you're kind of saying that you're not good enough to do what you want to do, that you're not good enough and that it could have happened, but it didn't. And now it's not going to happen. And now you're having regrets and you're resenting other people. Don't do that. You still have time. Even if you gave away your time and you helped the wrong people didn't appreciate you, like whatever happened in the past, leave it in the past or use it for your stories. Now you understand because you had those experiences, you had these feelings or these emotions about it, and you could be angry about it, you could feel negative about it. Now put it in your story. Now inject your life experiences in your story, but it doesn't have to be exactly how it happened in your past. That you just understand how you felt at a certain time in your life, whether you're healing and you're just doing things, you're desperate for a relationship, or you just kept chasing all the time and you felt like you needed these things to be happy, and if you didn't get it, you were not going to be happy, and you knew that like I need this to be happy, and then you start making people feel sorry for you and all these like things that you do. Then why did you do it? There's a reason why we do certain things at a certain time, but then that's not who we really are. That we did it because we were in a bad place or we were in a place of healing, and that once we healed and once we realized that we have more value and that we didn't need to do all these things and that we're happy with who we are, maybe life could be better. We could be taller or more fit, or we could have more money and all that thing. Like all these things, like don't think about what you can't change. If it comes out of money, you could change that, but don't think about like I needed to be taller or I'm only if these things happen, or if I wasn't so nice, or what. Like don't think about what if. Create stories that are what if, but don't think about it in your own life and be unhappy because now you think it's too late. It's never too late. That you still have time. As long as you're still breathing, you're still alive, you're still healthy, you have time. Don't worry about when people say like that you're wasting people's time, or like time is the greatest thing, because people they put so much value on time, like that if you wasted somebody's time or they wasted your time, that now it's too late because now they can reclaim that time. Like whatever. Like don't listen to those people when they say that time is everything. That time is only one piece of the puzzle, but it is not everything. That if you lost time in a relationship, don't worry about it. You lost 10 years, 20 years in a relationship, learning experience. Now you have that experience. Now you know what it's like. You don't have to write about like those 20 years or those 10 years. You could just understand how someone was feeling or what they were feeling at those times. And you don't have to show everything in your screenplays or in your stories. You could just show enough to get to, but then you want to focus on what the inciting incident is, like what is driving the whole movie and the plot and everything. And just do a good job. Write it. You might write it 20 times. It might change. You might get a better idea. You could be writing, and then now you're getting into the rhythm because you're starting to write and say, okay, now the ideas are coming. Now I'm enjoying this. Now I want to keep writing this. Now I'm so excited. I can't wait to return back to it. Don't be like so excited to go to social media because I need to go into this Facebook group for screenwriting, and I need to impress people, and I need to ask questions that I can answer myself. Is because you're trying to get attention and try to be that writer, but then you're not doing the writing. You're not creating these stories. You're not doing what you need to do because you're spending too much time talking about it all over the place. Telling everybody what your dream is. Saying I got this idea, or I got this, or my life is a good story and all that. Like, do the work. Do the work. Don't skip the steps. Don't skip to like I want this dream and now like I need people to take pictures of me or make videos and make it look like I'm living my dream, or like I'm so famous, or I'm in the spotlight, or look at this and that, look at these stories written about me and all that. Forget about that stuff. Do the work. Love what you like. Do you want to waste all this time and energy trying to fake believe that you're someone so people could, tell everyone like, oh, this person, and be impressed with you and you're that person? Or do you want to actually do the work so your work speaks for yourself? And you could be humble. You could be humble and you don't even have to show off. Like, or hey, are you the one that wrote that movie? And like, oh, I am. They're like, wow, it was amazing and you changed my life. And I'm glad that you received it and that you were able to see the message in it. And I'm glad that you were able to find some type of inspiration in it. Like, be humble, have humility, and allow your work to speak for itself and just do the work. Be defined by your work, not by faking it that you're someone and that you're so great and you have all this, because it could be easily verified. You could verify things on IMDb everywhere, like to know that you're really not that person. You're not that famous actor. You're not that famous actress. You're not that famous writer, because if you are, then people will know who you are. But allow your work to speak for itself. And sometimes people write behind an alias, a pen name, because they want people to see the work and not the person. So then they kind of like say, I want my work to speak for, for me being an artist or being a professional. So until the next time, value yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. Peace out.